Hey everybody. So it didn't take too long to get the masking of the airplane done. The only thing left is the cowling. So I'm going to talk about how we're going to do the alignment of the side stripe to the cowling uh, detail. So what Dumas provides is the two side stripes, and the reason it's a broken line is that the long section goes from the firewall as far back as it goes, I think somewhere around here, and then the Gilmore logo text goes right behind that, and then a small gap, and the smaller remainder of the line of the side stripe goes just in front of the tail. So you can see it kind of on their illustrations, just barely shaded here, the small section, Gilmore, the long section. So the first thing I'm going to put to the airplane, and I thought I would paint the side stripe, but because the reds, the paint red versus the decal red, are not exactly identical, I thought it might be best to use the decal side stripe, and it would blend better with the Gilmore text and all of that. So it's just an idea that I have, that little bit, if I paint that red stripe, side striping on there, versus using the decal, I think might make just enough of a difference in blending. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is put the side stripes on. The side stripe, the Gilmore, and the follow-on stripe. The reason I want to do that whole section is to get everything aligned off of that, right? So the 121 is spaced and flat, square to the text. Red lion is going to be square to that text. This red lion logo here. So you see everything kind of feeds off of that side stripe. That gives us a center line, so to speak. And with that, we'll get that on. That'll allow me to mask and paint the cowling. And while the paint is drying on the cowling, a day or so, I'll be able to apply all of the other decals, everything else. Essentially all of the decals. Because there are no decals for the cowling. I'm not going to be using this. I'm going to be replicating that in paint. I'm going to be masking and painting that. It just won't do to have a decal here and then paint coming off of that. It's just a noticeable difference in the thickness and the way it would look and so on, and the fact that the paint obviously doesn't exactly match it. So in that one sense, the side stripe being decal and the cowling being paint, well, now I'm back to square one. But I'm not going to now mask the airplane and just paint the side stripes on there. I just went in a big circle there, didn't I? Damn it, should have painted the side stripe. Well, hey, we're going to do it this way, and that's the way it is. When you build your Red Lion, Dumas, Waddell Williams, Roscoe Turner airplane, you can paint or not paint as you see fit. The decals look very nice. I can't wait to see how it looks with that. But as I said, the side stripe goes on both sides. That'll allow me to line up the cowling. Once right now it's perfectly square. The cowling is exactly where it needs to be. The gapping around the wings on either side is in exactly the same position, and the cowling is square. Unfortunately, I don't have a side stripe on there, or I could already just start marking the cowling for that. But as it sits, I got to pull it off, put the side decals on, get it back on there the way it is now, exactly the same position. And then we'll mark it for where we're going to mask for paint, and then we'll do that. And while that's drying, we'll decal the airplane. You can see, I don't know how well the lighting is in here, again, how good it is, but the paint went on pretty well. There's just a few little touch-up spots remaining. I don't try to do all the touch-up at once. I work an area, left upper wing, get that done, and then let that dry. I'll walk away, and then the other upper surface, and then the lower wing surfaces, and then the tail surfaces, and then the landing gear. I try to do everything not all at once, but in section, so that I don't get kind of bleary or careless. If that helps. So that's one way to look at it, I guess. We've got all the rigging line holes drilled out everywhere. So as soon as we get the decals up, and I can get a clear coat on, we'll get a couple coats of semi-gloss clear after it's decaled. We'll leave the canopy mask on through that process. As soon as the last spray of semi-gloss clear is on there and it dries, then I can peel the canopy mask off and rig the airplane. So side stripes, masking and painting the cowling, decaling the airplane. We'll hit it at that point with the semi-gloss. As soon as the cowling is dry, we'll glue it onto the airplane, and then we'll give everything another coat of semi-gloss clear, and at that point we'll peel the after all is said and done, peel the canopy masks off. I can either do that before rigging or after rigging, but it's got to be after the airplane is completely assembled and decaled. Okay, and we'll get a few coats of the semi-gloss clear. It worked out really well on the Air Express. I think I ended up with 4 coats on that, and it really has a nice finish. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Again, that's after decaling. All right, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon.